Tell them people.
What's going on, Bulls Nation, and welcome in to the CHGO Bulls podcast presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when creating your PointsBet account to live your bet life and get those 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Big Dave over there on the other side is at BAL, BAWL Sports. And sandwiched in between us, ladies and gentlemen, he's here in studio.
My God.
You know him from his work hosting Bulls pre- and post-game on our old station called NBC Sports Chicago.
Yep.
You also should be listening to his new podcast, new-ish, it's been around for a while now, called The Full Go.
Yeah.
It is like The Ringer's Chicago sports podcast, hosted by this man right here. He's on Twitter at Jason1Goff. He is Jason Goff. Jay, welcome, man. Give it up for Jay.
I'm just happy to be in like a professional broadcast environment because at the crib I am in front of like a pink couch with green pillows, and I'm in an office where therapy is given to everyone else, and then I get to talk for like 45 minutes to myself.
To yourself, right?
Yeah, this is nice. This is
Thank
like
you,
a sports coffee shop kind of vibe.
Oh, we tried,
right.
No, we tried, bro.
And it's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man.
I miss
It's been-
y'all with all
Dave
my
and I
heart.
were just thinking about it the other day. Like, we have not seen you since
So
the NBA season shut down.
Yeah, man.
The first COVID season that got postponed.
COVID took a lot of things from us.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Cross about it. I've talked to Bulldog about it. Like, you know, the Outsiders show it holds a special place in my heart because y'all two, especially, and you and John, two and John, those first 2 seasons, it was a little rough.
Rough times,
Yeah.
A little bit, bro.
So you know, I would be angry as hell on the post-game show, and then I would hear about it shortly afterwards, and then I'd go home and watch y'all. I'd be like, wait a minute, hold on. And Peck can be out here.
Oh, yeah.
Literally throwing shit at the TV.
Literally.
Right? And then I'm like, maybe they didn't box out enough. And like, hey, hold on now. Hold on, Goff. Nah, but man, I miss y'all.
You had to maintain a certain level of professionalism.
Yeah, and
that
I don't
they
know.
did not ask of us.
Bro, we had to do that.
And I don't know why they asked that of me.
No,
Like,
before every show, and Matt will tell you this, for many shows he went on with them losses, my last words to Matt, dude, don't get fired.
Hey, man.
Dude,
Listen.
came close a couple of times.
I've had Big Dave in my head since 01.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Jay, whatever you do. Right.
Trust me, I'm with you.
Right, the 9 to 5s really ain't your jam.
You feel me, right? You don't like waking up at 6, do you? I think you do.
Oh, my God.
Well, so what's it been like throwing the Full Go podcast on top of everything else that you got going on? Because like that started while the Bulls were in season.
Yeah,
didn't it?
it's been cool. I get a chance to, get back to the roots of broadcasting in my way, where it's more audio. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing and how you're looking and prompters.
I'm a little sad you're not wearing a turtleneck right now, Jay.
He talked about it.
Although that hoodie does, somebody in the comments said, look fresh as hell.
I appreciate you. You don't have to compliment me. I am actually going to apologize to y'all because I had a lot of things planned today and all of them fell through. I was supposed to get a shave. I was supposed to make myself look tidy for y'all. I've been running around. My apologies. It's okay to not wear a suit, though, because
you're in the right place.
Doug, I walk around the city and I'm in Mariano's and dude, you ain't in the suit, huh? No, I'm not in the suit.
Put on a suit to go to the grocery.
Yeah. And I'm with my child, so you're bothering me now. Like it's getting kind of
Boomer
weird.
generation. We used to wear a suit and tie on airplanes.
Right.
Cool.
Like I've worn
It's not
suits.
1975 anymore.
You know what's crazy? I was just telling my fiance that we used to get dressed up to go to the airport.
Yeah.
Back in the
Damn,
day.
you right.
Yeah, we used to get dressed up.
Wow.
You see me jumping onto some like United flight in a 3-piece suit.
You either going to
I'm
church or
like,
you getting on the plane.
we're going to New Jersey. Right. We're going to East Orange, New Jersey. Right. Unless I got a parole here, there's no reason for me to jump
Also,
off the
you're
plane.
trying to say you don't feel put together right now. I just noticed that your socks match the exact same tie-dye colors as your hoodie.
You're not supposed to.
Come on now.
He ain't say he was coming out here too bogus, all right? You know what I mean? He ain't say that. You ain't even peep the belt. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even peep that belt on him like that. Yeah, you better go and do that one time, brother.
Yeah, you out here
ain't say
like
that.
child support. He itemizing everything like child support, dude, boy. Like, yeah. Things are looking a little right. No,
yeah, that looks nice.
All this came with a free bowl of soup, man.
What kind?
Huh?
What kind?
Lentil.
We got like a chowder.
Lentil.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you go lentil.
That's a
You
flex.
keep it nice and base for everybody. Shout
I
out
need
to
some
the
a little
Jewish
heartier
homies.
than lentil.
You know what I mean?
Or is it like a lentil that you can throw like some old like ham chunks in, Like
I'm
take the
trying to
remnants of a honey baked ham and make some lentil soup with the remnants of the honey baked
lately,
ham.
I've been trying to stay away from the pork.
Talk
as
to him,
much,
Jay.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
I've lost another one? Big Dave's ragging me for my red meat eating every damn day.
It's like I'm slowly but surely trying to back off of how much animal protein I'm taking in because my body can't take it anymore, Peck. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like I'm not the most well put together individual. So like when you're trying to keep up with a 5-year-old in life, you can't, I love the food that I've loved for years and I've tasted all of it. So it's like you gotta slide back sometimes. Right. And the only thing that doesn't damage me anymore is kale and water. So I know. I'm about to
sad.
How's that making you feel?
It's always the white brethren too to get so mad at you. Like, hey, no, screw this, fight against it. It's like, no. My ass is fighting against me. Like I'm getting
like that toilet paper money is getting expensive, man.
Like
it's very expensive.
Like if your body is fighting against you for 20 minutes every morning, you gotta listen at some point. So
listen, man.
And like in the world of food, kale is my trigger word in the same way that in the world of sports, boiling is my trigger word. Like
man. You just damn you equated kale to Jim Boylan. That's tough.
That is tough because I like kale.
Yeah.
Thank you for the neuralizer sound effect there, Joey.
Good job, Joey. Proud of you, man.
Kale has never had to have a fine paid for it.
Oh. I don't know if you heard this, Jay, but Zach LaVine gladly paid that fine for him because they're such good pals.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Best friends.
Zach is very strategic in all ways, as we're seeing right now.
Smart man is what he is.
Well, don't blame me for this losing, y'all. I took care of his 50 grand. Yeah, you know what I mean? One less vacation. You know what I'm saying? That's blame it on the coach.
Right.
That's how you do it too. Like you make the unsympathetic figure look like a sympathetic figure, which makes you more mad at him.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta peep the third
game
eye.
right there, that's free game right there.
I know y'all don't like him, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it seem like he's broke.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna pay for him so y'all can be like, man, he can't even pay his own fine, and we getting
insurance code right.
I don't know if anyone could look at our former head coach and think of him as a sympathetic figure.
I mean,
our pal John used to refer to him as, that stereotypical middle-aged white guy who continues to fail his way upwards.
Right, exactly.
Now, like he was
exactly broadcasting.
Correct. Yeah. Welcome to CHGO, brother.
Let me get up out of here before I'm going to leave without a gig. I promise you that.
We're not trying to get you in any trouble. But because we have you here, I guess we should get some of your thoughts on this Bulls season that just ended and the offseason ahead.
Yeah.
Was there something... DeMar and the way that he just blew all of our expectations away is an obvious answer. Anything beyond that, or are you just going to say yes, DeMar, in the best and most fun surprise for you watching this Bulls season that just ended?
I mean, yeah, of course it was DeMar, right? Like nobody expected, other than DeMar, and maybe not even DeMar, but nobody expected him to be one of the best, like 8 or 9, 10 players in the league.
Right.
And he performed at that level. It's so crazy, like when you start commenting or talking about players and then they end up on the team that you're covering. Like for years, DeMar DeRozan was the example of a player that I use that was uber talented, but how are you affecting the game when you're not scoring? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what a lot of dudes encounter. And when he started to flip that switch at the end of his Toronto career, you saw like, okay, it's coming into, his talent is coming into fruition at like the full form of what he was going to be. And then they're like, yo, we appreciate it, but we got to win a championship.
Yeah,
right.
So they go out and get the mercenary. You go out and win a title knowing that he's not going to come back, right? And they did what they had to do. Meanwhile, DeMar goes to San Antonio, and we all know, for a year and a half, we kind of forget about him,
right.
but he becomes a better playmaker. And then he wants to show people that, hey, man, I'm still the dude that you guys forgot about in Toronto. And he did that for a full season. Now, is it realistic to expect that going forward? I don't think so, but I don't think there's too much of a departure coming from that season. Like, if DeMar goes out and scores 24, 25 a game instead of 26, 27,
right.
I don't think that's too far a fall off. I don't think he's going to go back to 21 a game as a Bull. But also, how much you're depending on some of the things that he provides. It's all in the formula, right? Like,
right.
Zach LaVine deferring to DeMar DeRozan in certain instances down the stretch. And even in the early going when they didn't know, like, how to do the 1-2, like who has it, who's going to do it this night, and who's going to take the last shots and that kind of thing. That first month they were still figuring each other out.
Right.
They just got off to a good start.
Yeah.
So now you're not going to jump on anybody. Right, everybody's aware of you as the Bulls, and the DeMar DeRozan's not going to surprise anybody with the DeMar that he showed you last year. So now is the real test. Like, you get that bump to relevancy, but now it's okay. There are no surprises with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Are you one of the best 4 teams? Forget being one of the best 6 teams. Right. Are you one of the best 4, especially with the amount of parity? I know people don't like to use the P word, but the amount of parity in the NBA now.
Yeah.
You find yourself in that top 4. It's kind of got that baseball vibe where you get to a certain point, you filter out all the bums, and then now you're dealing with injuries in the postseason.
Yeah.
And are you good enough? I think the Bulls' question is, are you good enough 4 through 9?
Right.
Because 1 through 3, you start stacking those up, it's going to be problematic.
People
for you.
kept pointing to all season long their record against those top seeded teams.
Yeah, you have
Proof is in the
hard
pudding,
to
man.
ignore.
Yeah,
Proof is in the
hard.
pudding.
Yeah.
It's different if it's like 4 games,
Yeah.
or like 10 games. It's 16,
All of them?
17.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Like, nobody was like, we shouldn't take this team lightly, right? And which means people respect you, but it also means, like, when I was a kid, I used to get the video games and throw them on advanced or hard immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Right?
immediately, yeah.
Right. So like, all right, I'm going to get my ass kicked for a little bit or I'm going to get my ass kicked for
Right.
a long time. Either way, I got to live up to that level. Bulls now have to live up to the level.
That's commendable. My first step was always, all right, semi-pro mode, eat whatever, win this game by 45 to build up my confidence.
No.
And
Straight-
then ratchet it
Straight
up.
to all Madden, straight there.
Right.
I
Because
gotta
you was
figure
going
it
over
out.
your boy's house.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct,
You was going over your
man.
boy's house, and your boy wasn't going to do the shit the computer does.
Sure
Like, your
wasn't.
boy was going to
And you
do
coming
all the
over-
cheating shit.
Man.
Yeah.
Talking king shit, bro. Yeah,
He
man.
know how to beat the cover, too. Like,
Correct.
he
Yeah,
right. He playing with Michael Vick, which you
I would get
already
my ass
agreed.
kicked in
Yup,
Madden
right.
playing with my buddies.
Yeah. So why do that with the computer? Like,
Right.
why build up, your situation?
No, it's
right?
better to destroy them with like Henry Burks playing the Michael Vick role.
Exactly. And
I broke a lot of hearts, man. I hurt a lot of people's feelings, bro. I hurt
I feel like you broke a lot of hearts in a lot of different ways, Big Day.
This is a
man,
fact.
Big
This is a
Dave.
fact too,
Shout
man.
out
This
to
is a
Big
fact,
Dave.
man. But
Shout
no,
out to
this
Big
don't take
Dave.
a golf level. But I wanted to ask though, because
What's
you
up,
were
bro?
talking about DeMar DeRozan and his surprise. I think the other surprise of the team was Vuč.
Yeah.
Because Vuč was expected to actually continue with season that he has been having in Orlando, but he definitely went on that decline. Even though he got the 17 and 11, the three-point shooting was off. We already knew he wasn't great defensively, but a lot of that was being funneled to him and things like that. Do you expect him to come back on his, or is this the beginning of the end, basically, for Vuč?
I think it's like the crossroads of the end of a prime, and also, like, let's face it, if you look at shot charts, DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vučević got their offense in the same areas throughout the year.
Okay.
So at some point, if we run in, 3-5 or 2-5 pick and roll, which they don't do a whole bunch of, that's asking you to vacate that spot. Right, and you're going to defer to DeMar, right. So when KG used to get upset about Vuč floating around the 3-point arc, and all Bulls fans getting upset about Vuč floating around the 3-point arc, I used to be like, "Where the fuck y'all want him to go?"
Right, yeah.
like if I'm running something with you, Peck, and you keep going to the spot that I need to get at, and
Well,
I'm the man,
right.
Like at some point, I don't even have to say anything. You making us look crazy,
Right?
Like everybody's gonna be like, man, I sure wish Vuč would get out of, you know what I mean? Like, and Vuč being an astute basketball player understands that, so it's like, okay, I gotta go get my offense from over here. This dude's been playing a certain way for a decade,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Like,
And only in the last couple of seasons brought that 3-point shot up to around, close to 40%.
he never had to.
Yeah.
He never had to be anyone else until he had to be somebody else. And that, along with, I think his confidence, we like to talk about players as if they're like perfect, right? But there are some dudes who do deal with confidence issues when it comes to how they play on one end or the other.
Right.
Like we always say, don't take that on the other side of the court. Don't take that onto that end of the floor. Cool. But if you're not dealing with a robot and, we deal with it. We all have our anxieties. We all have our insecurities, right?
Yeah.
And we try our hardest to mask them. But at some point, the ball going to find the weakest defender. And all those insecurities are going to come flooding out. All right, so if I'm not hitting jack on the offensive end because, one, I'm not maybe in the spots that I would like to be, whatever the case may be, and I am out here getting blown by.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hedge up on screens because of whatever's going on with me in terms of my defensive deficiencies.
Right.
Like, there's a lot happening there. And then to still go out and get 17-11, I'm not saying like, oh, we should celebrate Nikola Vučević. Right. I think the fact that he performed the way that he did after some of the Orlando game where he's like 4 for 19, right? And it's like, come on, man, you're better than that.
Right.
Like there's a lot of newness packed into his experience over these last couple of years. You got to live up to it though, because you're getting paid that way.
Correct.
Right.
So it's
Correct.
You understand the human part, but you also understand the results part, and that's why try to.
And when he arrived,
figure it out.
at the trade deadline 2 seasons ago, it was like right around the same time that Zach went out for the rest of the year, and DeMar hadn't shown up yet. So they got to run a lot of stuff for Vuč, and then all of a sudden, a fresh season, Zach is here at an all-star level, and you added another all-star in DeMar. So it's like, of course, there's going to be an adjustment period for Vuč.
Yeah, because you're right, because that's floating between that 1 and that 2. And then this season, like, no, bro, you hard 3. You know what I mean? That's it. That's what you're going to do right there.
And
that's brand new for some dude who's been number 1 for like 10 years.
And you're the hard 3 where it's like, we're counting on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, look at that guy. He's, you're getting paid like you're getting counted on. Right. You got to perform like you're being counted on. And, it's a position where if you're not impactful, like, you got to get off the floor. You got to get off the floor because there's only usually one guy your size on the floor.
Right.
So if you're not impacting the game the way that guy is, or if they see that this is a weakness by keeping you on the floor, you got to go. Like, how many times did we see over the last few years Jonas Valanciunas in any stop that he's been at?
Yeah.
Where Dwayne Casey or, in Memphis, whatever the case may be, the moment Jonas ain't, doing what he's supposed to be doing, you got to get his ass off the floor.
Right.
And that started in Toronto a few years back. It's not because he's a bad player. It's because there's only one dude on the floor that's your size, And if you ain't impacting the game the way he is, or they take him off, you got to go. I think Vuč, he's gotten to that point where it's like, and that's why Patrick Williams and the slow development due to injury and attitude, whatever the case may be, like, he was supposed to be the guy that could be your small ball 4, and sometimes mess around and guard big guys for you. Well, the onus is on Vuč more to be like, all right, you have to be out here because 4 and 5, we shaky on.
Right.
Tristan, Tristan Thompson, Tristan Thompson.
It's Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson. Right, exactly. Like, you
Didn't love the Twin Towers with Vuč and Thompson.
Hey, I was asking for it at some point. I was hey, throw them both out there and figure out what people do with them.
And I think it took Billy Donovan 2 minutes to be like, no.
That's not the thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. The game would
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. The game, Right. Back to underground.
My man, right?
We got plenty more here with Chase and Goff visiting us in the studio coming up. We mentioned Vuč. We mentioned Pat. We got to talk about Rudy next because those rumors are flying around. But first, I mentioned at the top of the show, today's episode brought to you guys by that amazing fun app called PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up. to get those 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. And that's not all. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you're also going to get yourself a free membership to this here, what we call CHGO. That means exclusive access to our amazing content. Our guy Gottlieb has a Q&A talking about Bulls offseason moves that went up yesterday. Check that out. Plus, you're going to get a free T-shirt and access to our members-only Discord channels,
like
one
that,
for
Jay?
each team here at CHGO.
Like that.
So many perks, Jay.
Like
This
that.
is,
right?
man.
Do you have a
listen,
PointsBet account?
no, but I want
Get
one
on
now.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, it's
You're
easy to
a
sell me.
provider, like I understand.
Yeah. No, that ain't that much.
ain't that-
Yeah.
Right,
Come
you know
on
what I
now,
mean?
man. I can jump in
got a
and
couple
enjoy
cents, you know,
myself.
yeah.
So you got
You know what I
to
mean?
save something for yourself. Can't give it all to everybody else that's going to be here and smiling when you're gone. Have some fun with it.
It's Tuesday, so that means it's pick of the
Oh,
week
man.
day for PointsBet.
Give it to me.
I'm looking at Game 3 tomorrow night, Celtics
yeah.
Warriors. You can get plus money on Warriors money line right now, which is so tempting. I know a lot of people saying, I actually still kind of like the Celtics through those first 2 games.
Yeah.
I picked the Warriors in 7 when this final started. I'm sticking with it. And the Celtics have not been a good team at home in this playoff run. I think they're like 2-8 at home in their playoff run. That's true. Give me the Warriors on plus money, plus 135 right now on PointsBet to
Parlay
just take the
pick, baby.
Warriors to win Game 3.
You got them winning game 3.
Got them winning Game 3.
Okay.
Hammer that plus
Parlay pick,
135 money line for the Warriors in Game 3. That's my PointsBet pick of the week.
Let's get it.
Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to do what, Dave?
Live your bet life. Get that
It's
paper.
a
You gotta live your bet
well-oiled
life, Jay.
machine.
Oh, man. It's no
This
games
is
being
this
played,
is a
man.
well-oiled machine.
no games
here,
being
man.
played.
I'm looking forward to doing this a lot more.
Hey, man. Remember when they made us peddle those like peanut like bar snacks on
Yes.
Outsiders?
Oh, my God.
What were they called?
Oh, what?
When we were doing Bulls Outsiders.
Right.
We were peddling snacks.
Peanut snacks?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so
They had to
you know
toss
they
some
could
peanut
never get
snacks.
us a title sponsor for Outsiders, whatever.
So I see,
But
like I just told, I'm going into negotiations to have that. I hope, hey, if they start hitting me with the peanuts, I'll be like, hey, Peck and Dave,
there
warn
were
me.
like 3 different flavors. I can't remember what the brand was called. Clearly,
You'll be
it
like,
didn't
no,
have that
the
great of an
honey
impact
Oh, I
on
know what
me.
you're talking about, like the sweet ones too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those
so
are
they had, like,
trash. I remember those. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, those
Yeah.
were horrible.
And like once or twice a week on that, we had to pretend to love these delicious little
Hey,
snacks.
man.
I'm allergic. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that is.
I couldn't
Yeah.
eat 'em. I couldn't eat
I'm
'em. I
I'm
was
allergic to doing anything for free. So, you know,
That's
You got
right.
that Stacey
Yeah.
King disease. Okay, good job. Proud of you, bro.
Only for you guys,
My
though.
man.
Only for you guys. But the
Appreciate that.
invoice will be in the email. You know what
Fair
I'm saying?
All right, man. So like we just got another fresh dose of this rumor mill this morning.
Oh my God, Bill
Jake-
Simmons. I was in the nail salon,
Dude.
Yeah, I said it.
You heard the flex.
Let me show you the text message, Dave.
Okay.
Like this is the other thing too. Like you got to play like, oh yeah, it was coming to my phone too.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see this message from Bill. Uh-oh, LaVine. So immediately I'm like, oh shit,
Something
he got
wrong.
traded.
Right.
So I haven't responded
Right,
yet. Right?
right.
I'm like, yeah, that's crazy what happened to him because I didn't know what he was referring to. I made a couple of text messages and
Is he
checked in
just
on some things.
insufferable when the Celtics are in the finals? Like
Bill?
I can only admit.
You know
yeah.
what's so crazy? No, because he and I talk more about like trade stuff. Like
Yeah.
Bill's like Bill. He's like a fan. Like he's a piped in fan,
Right,
right?
yeah.
So he can't wait to hit me. He thought forever that Ben Simmons to the Bulls would have been a great thing.
He wasn't the only person that thought that.
Oh, he wasn't.
No.
No, I'm here.
I laughed at them too.
I'm here, Dave.
Sorry,
here.
bro.
Dave, I'm here. We will have the Ben Simmons discussion.
Okay.
Till
So
the cows come home.
He's lacing them up and getting on that court in what 2035? Or what?
Y'all go, hey man, when Ben is new and improved and that back surgery heal up,
Okay.
and he running around with KD.
New and improved, but
you
still
know?
afraid to shoot free throws.
Hey, listen, sometimes you gotta affect the game in other ways. Yeah, you hit him with the bullshit. Like,
I see, right.
Hey, man,
That's the pro
you gotta
right
affect
here.
the
You know what I'm
game in other
saying?
ways.
You saw him going through the
You know what I
Rolodex
mean?
in his head right there.
It's
Like,
like
that's
what,
the one.
It's like
That's
what
the one.
everybody doing with Draymond right now. It's like he only took 2 shots. It's like it was 2 more than the motherfucker
Yeah,
should have
right.
took. Yeah, like what? When you cooked, you cooked. That's when you know, like when people are afraid to call you old. It's like, oh, look at Draymond.
Right. It's like looking at other things on the baby.
9.7 assists and 5 rebounds. Look at him. He's like Scottie Pippen. I'm like,
slow down.
Yeah, like calm down, y'all.
Slow down,
like,
y'all.
Drake, that's why I'm interested in your Game 3 conversation, because they acted like a team who knew that the Celtics are better than them.
Yeah,
dude, I said it. I texted my friend the same exact thing.
They acted like a team who knew it was time to mix it up in that manner, because they know these young boys haven't been through that.
Right.
So if you could steal a game, which they did, they beat the shit out of them in the fourth quarter.
And you know, they rained an unconscious amount of threes.
Yeah, and so did and Boston did in Game 1, right? In the fourth quarter. So it's like, yeah, but they knew they had to bring out the jerk card, you know, and start to mess with these boys a little bit, and they fell for it.
Yes.
Right? So if you can sneak one game out, then it's valuable. But it also shows me that the Warriors, they understand what they're going up against.
Oh, yeah.
They know what's up.
It's not a cakewalk.
Sweat dripping a little faster after that first quarter.
And I don't know how they're going to do it, because my pick was Celtics in 7, but I think some way, somehow, the Celtics going to find a way to, for the first time this postseason, to actually close somebody out on their floor.
Well, that's kind of what led me to eventually.
Yeah,
I mean,
it makes sense.
It took for the Middletonless Bucks, I think it took the Celtics a little too much messing around, and it definitely took them a little too much messing around against Miami.
They should have been out of there. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Who are you? I'm sorry, I derailed you.
No worries. No, I was just going to get your thoughts on all these Rudy Gobert rumors that launched this morning. So I feel like Bleacher Report and The Ringer are just taking turns throwing shit out there, Jay.
Well, let me say this.
I'm hearing this about Zach. I'm hearing this about.
Since we shitting on employers, let me say this. All right? What can I say about CHGO? without harming some of my friends. You know what I'm saying?
Company. It's wonderful.
Exactly.
I don't know what else you got.
I'm not blaming you for this.
No, I know. Trust me, I'm a mercenary. Dog, I got everybody stapled to my wall. You know what I mean? Like my jerseys. You already know. ESPN, Sirius. Like the amount.
Like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison.
Have check will travel.
That one?
No, I mean, you look at Utah, and they've come to the end of this round of brothers wanting to play in Utah. So I mean, let's be real about it. Like Donovan Mitchell was like, man, Quinn Snyder's not going to be here. I'm out of here. Right. It's like, bro, somebody just gave you an out. You know, you've been wanting to be out of there. And Rudy, like Quinn Snyder did with Rudy what a lot of people can't do, which is keep a guy in that profile on the floor as long as they did. And low-key, he was their best player.
Yeah.
Like, I like Donovan Mitchell as much as the next guy, but, you know, Donovan Mitchell is an amazingly talented little guy.
Right.
Right? And, hell, the Bulls were incredibly interested in him in the draft process. Yeah, sure. They brought him in for a couple of workouts. Like, it was like, oh, Donovan might be the Bulls pick. So, I've long been fond of his game, but he can only affect so much, right? And I think, you know, whether it be New York or Atlanta, I think somebody's going to find that out as well. Yeah. But when it comes to Rudy, like,
so like hypothetically,
you want a rim defender? Like, there it is.
I mean, not to say that I believe the Utah would love this deal. Depends on obviously what they believe to be the ceiling of one Patrick Williams, but Vooch and P will for Rudy. Like, that's the thing that people are throwing out there a lot. Do you think either team? Do you think both teams would be interested in that? Would you, as someone who works covering the Bulls and is a Bulls fan, want to see that? Do you think Rudy in a Bulls uniform helps this team substantially take a next step next season? Well, hypothetically,
substantially,
yeah.
Like
a lot of Bulls fans on Twitter are like, dude, automatic top 10 defense if you get Rudy in here, and like that's what you need. That's the move you need to make.
Let's not forget that 40 mil either. Let's not forget that on top of that.
It's a nice price tag.
Yeah, very expensive.
For a guy like when I'm paying top 10 in the NBA money, top 12 in the NBA money, like you gotta be a mover and shaker. And not saying that Rudy isn't, because obviously, you know, he's one of the better defenders in the game.
But you were saying, I mean, like sometimes he gets played off the floor with mismatches.
And offensively. Like, when you're paying that much money, I need everything. And that's why so many teams get upset at the latter years of some of these big deals. Would I do that deal? I probably would.
Yeah.
And just live with whatever Pat Williams would become. And Vuce is at the end of his prime, so that wouldn't be a huge fall off there. It's just now offensively, what's the profile of your team? Because you still haven't affected the shooting the way that you need to, and you've actually taken away from it now.
And Gobert kind of clogs up that space where Zach and DeMar want to get into the lane and operate.
Yeah. You want to mess around and run any pick and roll, it's going to have to be a roll. Yeah. Right? There's no more, you know what I mean? It's no more fades, no more pops, none of that shit. Yeah,
Gobert is like an early 90s computer that has like one program on it.
It is.
It works.
Yeah.
It runs right. You know what I mean?
Just go over to my uncle's house. Leisure Suit Larry was the only game on it.
Yeah.
Shout out to all Leisure Suit Larry kids.
Stop it.
You know what I mean? We had to learn somehow, y'all.
Yo, dude,
you already know the initiators understand. Yeah. Real ones relate. People Googling right now, like, what's Leisure Suit? Yeah. Oh, my God.
NFT?
Yeah. How many of y'all thought that was going to get mentioned today? See? That's why you won't ask me.
Did you see my reaction?
Yeah,
I didn't think I was going to be mentioned today.
That's why you won't ask me back. Look at my man right there. He's just like, all right.
Joey, go there, boy.
Speaking of
I love Joey, man.
Our unpredictable
Joey, like,
show.
what?
Jason, you know what the word besmirch means, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't besmirch my character.
We got a whole thing here.
We're going back to this. We're going back to this.
Yeah, you have to bring it back up, Joe.
You got to take a
We got to keep you on your toes.
Every person that comes into this studio, we're gonna ask them if they know what the word besmirch is.
I got dragged on Twitter all weekend about this.
I said the word besmirch.
I'll try to save you.
I said the word besmirch.
Dave said in context that the Bulls fans on the comments were besmirching the name of Matty Legend.
Matty Legend, baby.
And I said,
who's that? Who's Matt Legend?
Thomas.
Matt Thomas. Excuse me.
I thought that's who you were referring to. That's my man.
And I said, what does that mean? And I should have never said that, apparently.
Well, hey, man, get used to it, though. Get used to saying a bunch of things that, you might be questioning, but you got to say them out loud to an audience who hates you. So and if you have to be the foil for these two dudes, it's a lot worse places you could be.
I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it with these two.
Joey's my guy, man. We protect Joey, man.
In the ocean and the fire simultaneously.
I got you, Joey.
Out of the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet something ridiculously complimentary about you when I leave here.
And it will be true.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate
exactly.
That. And it will be amazing.
And have the 50-year-old white man slide into your DMs the way they do mine.
JS.
People were upset that apparently I've never seen The Simpsons because I didn't know that word. Like, they were jumping to a bunch of conclusions about my character.
How old are you, though?
I'm 23.
Oh, yeah, dude, he's 23.
Here we go with the age slander.
No, it's not slander.
We're not slandering you, man. He's saying you wouldn't expect you to know.
Yeah, you have
Thank you. Cut me some slack. Cut me some slack.
You to know, man.
Now, 26 is going to be no excuse.
That's because you can rent a car at that age. You know what I'm saying? Get into any club.
How do y'all feel about Rudy?
You know what?
I am.
You go. That trade, even though how I feel about Rudy Gobert, I still will probably do that trade. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe in him.
How do you feel about Rudy?
I don't believe in the dude. You know what I'm saying?
What do you don't believe in him? You don't believe he's an NBA player? What do you mean?
No, I just don't believe in his game, man, like that. Like, he's a great defender. He's clogged you up. We understand that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Defensive player of the year. Your defense is immediately better and all that other stuff. There's another side of the floor I got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what it reminds me of, and it's not the same, but it reminds me of Ben Wallace. When we got Ben Wallace here and we paid him all that money and he got here, you went to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you had that one good time. You had that good season. All right, then it's a wrap. It was a wrap city after that. You know what I'm saying? And me giving up Patrick Williams for a couple seasons of just making the playoffs.
There it is.
I don't know if I can do that with that as well.
You can be honest with me.
I never believed it.
Because I missed y'all, so I haven't been able to.
I never believed in Rudy like that. I mean, it's just a dude I've never really
does what he has to do.
Man. I know what he is. And he's good at that.
You know what he is? Remember Andy Dalton with the Bengals?
Okay, your comparison.
Hold on, where it's like,
I believe you're referring to QB1.
Yeah,
the Rocket. Yes, okay.
The ginger rifle or the red rifle.
Red rifle. Yes.
Goodell is the ginger hammer, and Andy Dalton is the red rifle, right? So it's like when the Bengals were kind of contending and they had a decent team, you're like you have to pay the quarterback. You got to pay somebody,
right?
And the fall off is so steep. Right. That he got to get the money. Same thing with big men. Like, if you are a big man who has won any award and finishes any All-NBA, you got to pay him.
True.
So, Robert Williams, Kevon Looney. right? Like you look at the bigs who are playing on the center stage right now. Like it could have been Giannis, it could have been Joel. Not saying they obviously weren't up to the task, but it's different ways to skin a cat. Now with him, I agree with you. You have to have as refined an offense as possible because of how many things that he's going to take away with the things he just doesn't do. Right. So, you got to have Joe Ingles. You got to have, Royce O'Neal. You got to have dudes who can knock down shots.
Right.
And the Bulls right now, they got a lot of streaky shooters.
So how do they also add the shooting they need if they add and give Gobert all that money?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the part of the equation that I'm having a tough time figuring out.
That dude, you put him on this team right now. You
got to draft that guy.
What you scoring? You know what I mean? Who's putting the ball in the bucket?
You got to draft that guy.
Okay.
Or that's why with this core, that's why I keep talking about 4 through 9. Like 4 through 9 matters as much as it has ever mattered in the NBA because you put together a big 2, you're going to get your ass whooped. If you got like there are no longer the days of teams winning, and shout out to Joel Anthony, but there's no longer the days of teams winning with Joel Anthony as the starting center because you got Bron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh.
Right,
those days are done. Right.
No.
Especially
even the early Warriors had quality big men.
Yeah. And especially since the luxury tax is really a myth for owners who don't want to spend. Yeah. Like, because all these owners are getting money outside of basketball, so you can all cover the tax.
Right.
Like, everybody's right now, like, that article about what the Andrew Wiggins trade will do to the Warriors going forward and how many pieces they're going to have to lose. Bob Myers could spit on that if he wants. Yeah. Right? You could pay all of that. You could pay everything you want to pay. You could be the Yankees, right? You could be whatever. You could be the Dodgers. It's just they can hide behind luxury tax, right? So if I can pay for whatever I want and I am limited at one position like center because of what I can't do offensively, well, that means that now your ownership are going to have to kind of press the button. Right. And if you make a move like that where 2 years previous, like the Vooch deal was made obviously to improve the team, but I think that deal was made a lot for Zach to understand that they were serious. Right. Right?
We're going to start getting you help, and we're going to start right freaking now.
Right. Yeah. And now if you make another deal for a big man and then you have to give up a draft pick that was your first pick as a new regime, it's a tricky game. Yeah. But this is,
that's going to sting a little more, like you said, that first draft pick. Blossoming in front of you on another team.
In a 3-man draft. Where you had the 4th pick and then you were like, this is the guy.
Right. And a lot of people were like, who?
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the guy. Forget what y'all talking about. Isaac Okoro, all these other, you know what I mean? Yeah. All these other dudes, Denny Abdil, don't talk to me. The 19-year-old with the big hands who is not started at the collegiate level any game. Yeah. This is the guy. So when you let that guy go.
But not just big hands, Jay. Thighs like freaking tree trunks.
Hey, man. The man is.
I see Gottlieb hanging out in the comments. He's in love with those thunder thighs, man.
Hey, man. Hey, I need him to get 16 a game for me. Right? if his thighs get smaller and the PPGs go up, I'm good.
So is this that year for you for Patrick Williams?
It got to be. It has to be. It has to be.
People talk about year 3 being that year for young players and whether they prove it or not. He's in a tough spot because usually that's coming off of year 2. And what did you build in year 2? He built in year 2 because he missed 90% of it.
You know what I'd hate to see is him have the likable Lowry exit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, damn, you like him, but people people turned on Lowry because Lowry was like,
even the Lowry believers turned on Lowry.
People turned on Lowry because Lowry's like, hey, I play basketball. Y'all should stop getting mad. You know what I mean?
What y'all tripping on? Right. Get some of this hot sauce I got right here, man.
Did you not see those 5 threes?
Right.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like, rebound.
See that I missed?
You and Kendall early on were like, pull the plug on this Lowry kid. Like,
that's real.
Well, I was like, pull the plug on what you think of him.
Right, yes.
You know, like.
That's true.
And that was going into your figuring it out season.
Right.
He missed his figuring it out season.
Right.
So now it's full speed ahead. You got playoff expectations. You're the first pick of the new regime. Like, I am wishing the best for the young man.
Yeah, for sure.
But at some point, like when they clear out the summer league roster, it's like, here go that ball.
Yeah.
Right? and Ayo Dosunmu was like, I'm going to leave my game at the crib.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Ayo went out there and looked crazy.
Bro.
Right?
Listen.
It's like, oh, shit, G League.
Vegas?
Right. Like, G League going to be tough for Ayo, ain't it? Like, you know what I mean? And then, and you know, he hurt himself in the preseason. True. Then he hurts himself very early on in the season. Like, none of this is anyone else's fault.
Right.
But none of it is anyone else's fault, too. Right? Like, at some point, the league tells you what you are.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the answer, change it. So, you know, I don't know how. I don't know
Go
how.
win a Euro MVP like Nikola Vučević.
Don't bring that dude up to me.
Hey man, Dwayne Bacon over there killing. You know what I'm saying? You can get buckets. You can get buckets. Hey man, there's a
I just wanted him to be a thing so that he could overtake Wade for being the best named Dwayne player in the NBA with a name like Bacon. God, I was so disappointed.
Your hate goes deep, bro.
Oh, always.
Like, the name,
D-Wade?
like all that.
D-Wade?
Dude, you have no clue. You have no clue, Jason.
Don't bring that name in here.
You have no clue.
Man, I remember that summer of LeBron when I was. It got quiet as hell in here. I remember that summer of LeBron when I was chasing D-Wade and a bunch of people around this damn city, man. And,
Yeah.
Dog. Oh, my God.
Somebody in the comments earlier was like, man, Jay, I've been a big fan listening to you since the summer of LeBron.
Oh,
So
my.
there you go.
It's one of the worst and best summers of my life.
Yeah.
Wow,
And,
dude.
you know, I had the infamous imminent tweet, boy. They was on my ass about that. And, it was such an awful time, and such a great time for Twitter and Bulls
You
fans.
can laugh at it now.
Oh my God!
But you have risen past it and beyond
I truly haven't, because I'm still bringing it up. You know what I mean? I'm just working through it. It's just another, therapy session that I'm not paying for. That's all that is.
We give out free therapy here. That's what we do, man.
So,
free.
Patrick Williams, long story, less long. Hey, you got to do it.
Gotta do it.
It's now. It's now
time to
time
step
because
up.
he's going to be in the NBA for 10 years
Oh,
because of
yes.
his attributes alone.
The skill set.
So, are you going to be Patrick Williams, the dude who okay. Like, are you going to be, and this is probably a bad comparison because he had the surgery, damn near almost lost his life. But Jeff Green, right? When Jeff Green came out of Georgetown, it was like the string of like left-handed bigs who were out here being versatile, right? Greg Monroe, him, and I forget the guy who was before him. And Jeff Green, and you see it twice a year where Jeff Green dunks on someone at 37 years old. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
how? Right?
Yeah.
Like LeBron has talked about like the most talented guys he's played with. And he's mentioned Jeff Green before. So it's like some dudes are just built to be the cold dudes on the court.
Stuck around
and
all this time.
Yeah. So I don't. If he's Jeff Green, cool. Yeah. Like try to find a way to make him the best Jeff Green as possible. But
don't be 10-year Tony Snell. Okay.
Hey man,
all right.
Hey, look at them career earnings.
That dude is still,
that's my favorite.
That dude is still cashing checks.
I tell him all this. I smile every year because my man Tony Snell is in the league cashing checks. Brother.
Hey, you know what? Tony was like one of the first dudes I used to see go work out immediately after the game. I didn't get anything up in this game. I am going and killing the Wabash Athletic Club. You know what I'm saying? Going out there and giving Saul 50.
You feel me? GM I like this hard work right there. Like this hard work.
Just
Good job.
See him snatch off the suit, like with the snaps on the side and have like a rec league jersey on underneath. Like somebody's getting buckets. Tony Snell got a DMP CD next to his name. Man. Somebody's uncle who's like an insurance salesman is about to get work.
That's right. You're going to be healthy and
racking up those binary box scores.
Tony Snell stat lines
quadruple zero.
Oh, legendary,
man. Black Chase Daniel out here, boy. Legend at the bank.
Legend at the bank, man.
I know this is not what they thought we were going to talk about. My bad.
No, they do.
I'm so happy to
trust me. They do think this is what it was going to be.
We can talk about whatever.
They knew this was going to be.
We should get your thoughts on, obviously, the monster topic of the Bulls offseason, that being Zach LaVine's impending free agency. But before that, real quick, Big Dave, give a shout-out to today's other sponsors, would you please?
Oh, that other sponsor is Owen, y'all. I know you want to feel good. I know you want to have a drink put in you to be like, you know what?
Speaking of healthy living, Jay.
Feel right.
I'm with it.
This is going to make me feel nice. This is going to make me feel together. got something for you then. It's called Owen, y'all. Free of those artificial ingredients, allergen friendly, no gluten or dairy, and it's easily digestible.
Tell me more.
And you know who supports this? You know who got the back of this? QB1, Justin Fields.
But not Dalton.
He's the one.
Justin
No.
Fields.
The real QB1 up in here.
Justin
Fields, sir.
Let's
All
get
right.
it.
Get on down with that. And now, here at CHGO, if you go ahead and hit that website at liveon.com, you can get 20% off your first purchase and use that code CHGO20. That's CHGO20. Get yourself 20% off at liveon.com.
Boy,
Nothing wrong with that.
Justin Fields.
But they say a win's a win.
Oh, I like that.
See what I just
He
did?
just
No,
comes
that's all
up
me,
with
Jason.
taglines for these
That's all me,
sponsors
Jay. That's
that
all
are
me, son.
better than their taglines all the time.
just the culture adding to to marketing the way that the culture adds to marketing.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, you know.
yeah.
The check's not in the mail.
You dig?
You know what I'm saying?
And
Make
we
sure
found a
Big
nice
Dave-
balance. Dave handles all of like the Live Well products that we peddle,
as he should.
and I handle the gambling most of the time.
Sounds on brand to me.
It's pretty on
You
point.
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Dave is
That
from
is
the
on
earth, and you about your dollars. So, you know what I mean? It's simple. It's
All right,
simple.
Jay, do you want Zach to sign a contract? And do you want it to be with the Bulls for the most money that they can give him? Or do you think it's more gray of a topic than that?
I want Zach to get his money.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zach and I, we haven't been like incredibly close since he's been here. I've had a few conversations with him. The last conversation I had with him was in the tunnel after one of those games where, at the end of the season, we talked about a little bit about his knee and how he was feeling. But, yeah, I want Zach to get his money. I understand what comes with that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
End of maybe the athletic Zach that we've seen and have to now rely on more the shot-making ability, separation. And he's still athletic, obviously, but when you're dealing with the knee injuries that he's dealing with or knee issue that he's dealing with, obviously your body's going to have some kind of wear and tear.
Yeah.
What is that deal going to look like halfway through it, I think is a good question, like for any Bulls fan to pose. I mean, you're
The
going to
same
have
question that a lot of people asked about Jimmy Butler when the Bulls were in this exact same situation
100%.
7 years ago or whatever.
and you're going to have $300 million almost locked up in guys who've had knee issues or surgeries in your backcourt. So I understand why there's some trepidation. But at the same time, like top 25, top 35 players get paid. And if they don't get paid by the team that drafted them or the team that acquired them, they're going to get paid by somebody else. So what you have to ask yourself is if you're not going to be with Zach LaVine, how are you going to not just replace it but get better? Because, letting guys go that do what he's done for this franchise, people take notice of, right? Like if he's thinking about the deal that y'all made him go sign with Sacramento, what makes you think that all the players who are appreciative of Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine over his last 3 years has become one of those national fan favorites due to Dwayne Wade and a lot of people, a lot of people who talk about him, right? So
I give Wade no credit for the popularity of Zach
Can't help
LaVine.
yourself, man.
None whatsoever.
I mean, Zach, him going on, TNT and talking about Zach before he was an all-star and, flashing the light on Zach, probably taking that empty calorie thing off of his name a little bit. Like, Zach has a lot of league fans and dudes who are in the league that are fans of his. So if you don't pay him or if you trade him and it comes out that it was your doing, then how does that affect what, does that reset all the Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan,
all the good mojo that the organization has built since
it's
AK
a game of politics
and Mark arrived.
as well as you just paying somebody.
Right.
Because you could pay anybody and deal with the consequences. Not paying somebody or it being leaked that you wanted to move a person because you didn't think they were worth that money.
Right.
Everybody thinks they're worth that money.
Sure.
So the next time you have a situation where a guy is ready to leave a place that he's not happy with, Chicago's slowly but surely becoming one of those, oh, look what DeMar did. Like, Lonzo went there. Vuč is having a decent time there. Like, it looks like they're building something. Taking all of that and throwing a wrecking ball through it and then having nothing to show for it. Like, if you sign and trade Zach for – 3 rotational dudes and 2
Jalen Brunson.
and two picks cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully the deal turns out like Brooklyn's did with the Boston Celtics, where those picks become Jalen and Jason Tatum for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and a bunch of dudes, right? A bunch of dudes at the end of their prime. Sure. A lot of deals don't happen like that,
Right. Yeah,
right? Usually when you're trading the best player in the package, you're not getting value back, right? So is how much do you believe in Mark Eversley and Arturas Karnisovas?
Right.
So if you're not paying them and you trading them, how much do you believe in those guys making sure that you fitting those holes?
Right.
Because now what do you do with Kobe White? Like, how does that change his, prospect or his dynamic? Lonzo Ball, right? Like, Lonzo Ball, to me, last year kind of, was autopilot point guard. Like, I want to see Lonzo Ball with the ball in his hand more.
Yeah.
Like, if Zach LaVine's not there, that happens, right?
Sure,
like, so your whole thing changes. It's not just, the guy's he's got a need that's going to be tricky for a little bit, and you know exactly what he is. Is he capped at this? It's how does it affect the rest of the team? Like, how now does DeMar DeRozan score 27 a game when when Zach LaVine has a guy stapled to him, as opposed to having some above average two guard who I can leave because if you get 30, I tip my cap, as opposed to me expecting Zach to do that. So long story less long, I expect them to do what they're supposed to do, but this thing's on Zach.
Yeah. And you brought up the great point of the politics and the look of it, because that's what I keep kind of talking about here is AK and Eversley have done everything to tell Zach we want you, as far as who they brought in, as far as including him in who we're bringing in, and all those things. They've done all that to say, hey, man, we're going to take care of you on the back end.
Right.
And then to not do that, what that would look like around the league,
crazy.
Whether it's cool or nice, whether you
believe it or not,
no, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going back to where you were previously with the old regime and how people didn't want to come here because of all those things. You're taking all that stuff right back there by not signing that contract with him on that, man. It's too important.
Yeah. And look, I know that there's still a pretty substantial portion of this fan base that says, I like Zach, I appreciate what he's done while he's been here, absolutely an all-star talent, but I don't think he's the exact right piece we need to get the team over the hump. So let's sign and trade.
Yeah.
And the level of difficulty of executing that, just based on the teams that are out there that could be teams that want Zach, all of the nooks and crannies of the deals that would have to be made for those sign and trades to happen, way more complicated than I think the average fan understands, way more unlikely to be executed. But then the other kind of interesting thing about that is all of these sign and trades that AK and Eversley executed last summer, I think most fans would agree fairly successfully, were all sign and trades where your team is acquiring the best talent in that sign and trade deal.
100%.
And this would be trying to keep your team at least where they are and take a step forward, executing a sign and trade where you're giving up the best player.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
Like, absolutely, you're giving up the best player.
Yeah.
That's hard.
No doubt.
Yeah.
There's a reason why guys are moving the way they're moving.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell doesn't say this 3 years ago. Right? Like, you step in the club, and you're like, oh, shit, there's a bunch of ugly dudes in here. Like, I'm coming up.
I don't think they have clubs in Salt Lake.
Oh, they do. They do.
I keep telling you about Utah, man.
They just serve milk behind the bar?
I keep telling you about Utah,
let
bro.
me tell you something.
Hey.
My man, Mateen Cleaves, I used to
Mateen Cleaves.
I used to host.
Great name.
I used to host
From
with
the
him
past.
on Sirius on NBA radio. And I'll never forget asking him which two cities are the best that people don't realize they're to kick it in or to hang out in or just to visit for, a night or two on the road in NBA. He was like Salt Lake City and Sacramento. And I was like, I can understand.
I can vouch Sacramento.
I can understand, because I know about Sacramento as well, right? But break it down for me in Salt Lake City, and he broke it down for me. And don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Two of the most unlikely answers that I would have guessed.
Sleep.
That's right.
Yeah, just imagine if the city was overnight camp.
Yeah. See,
I don't know if that makes it sound more appealing to me.
I mean, you get to hang out. You get to run around and do whatever you want to do, and you know that you got to go home till tomorrow.
Correct.
You know
the
what I'm
low-keyness
saying?
is the best.
Yeah.
So where would you rather hang out for a night? Go around, checking out the hot spots in Salt
Miami.
Lake, or go to?
Miami.
I was going to ask that or Atlanta, because I know you spent some quality time down there.
Atlanta's a ball.
Yeah.
Atlanta's a ball. But
Miami? You're a Miami guy, Jay?
I do enjoy
believes
Miami.
in him.
Yeah. I'm,
You know what
I'm
I mean?
going Thursday,
Right,
man.
you know what I
I
mean?
can't wait.
Like, that's what believes in him.
Come on, Pat.
I'm not.
Come on,
I am
Pat.
A, not cool enough to pull off the Miami vibe, and B, I don't want to be cool enough to, because to hell with Miami, it sucks.
See, you're stepping in my world, Jason.
See, but
this
you
is
know
what
what
I
it
deal
is?
with on the
Yeah,
daily
all we
with my
gotta
guy.
do is get Peck and some pastels.
Oh
You know
my
what
God,
I'm
are you
saying?
kidding me?
No,
Not a chance.
Get them feet out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he got his Burks on ready.
I wear
He
the
keep
Burks to
them
the
Burks
office
on
like
deck.
half
Oh,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah, see?
His Burks are
True,
ready, man.
True white guy.
Oh, yeah, yes, no question.
Hoodies, some
That first
colors.
day that he came to
2
it,
weeks
man.
ago, I
He's
showed up
all
in a
into
tank
it.
top and Burks.
My
man.
man,
Yeah.
as you
And
should.
it looked like him.
As you
It was a
should.
fashion,
Hey,
dog.
show up
But
the day.
I can get away with that being a pasty white guy in Chicago. Cannot get away with it in Miami.
Sure you can.
Heck.
She said you can give away being a pasty
Yeah,
white guy anywhere.
You live. I mean,
Anywhere.
results show that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But don't limit yourself, man.
Don't do it,
Come
man.
on, Peck.
Don't
Hey,
do
don't.
it.
I think we should have an outsiders reunion at somewhere in Miami.
Okay.
And
so
I'll just pop up.
obviously, we need to get John to come too.
Yeah, that's
so
what
I'm not
I'm
the
saying.
most pasty, awkward-looking white guy.
That'd be a battle to the. That'd be a battle.
I'll be over there
That'd be a
getting the sun. I'll be over here in the sun, bro. Chilling out, man.
So, which one of these deals, or what names intrigue you the most?
Like in
Like,
sign-in trades?
or the trade,
Man,
the
okay,
the
so
stuff
like-
that you guys are hearing.
You know, like
The Portland
Mitchell
deal.
Robinson's name has been thrown around a lot recently too. I don't hate that
Yeah.
as just like getting some
It's a
interior
lower
defense
cost Rudy Gobert.
at a lower cost.
Yeah.
I don't love the Ayton thing. I don't know. You know, if you want to get into that whole mess.
Wouldn't it be
but, like,
crazy if DeAndre messed around and went and played with Luka, and they'd have the first and second picks from that draft?
that would be nuts.
that would be
That would be nuts.
crazy,
Yeah,
man.
no, I think-
And
I think-
dude,
that'd be a great
Dallas is
move.
like a piece away. Like
No,
they
I
made
think-
it to
I
the
think-
conference finals.
I think Mark Cuban's tired of playing around with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's letting you, and he needs to let Luka know at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, we trying to win. I'm
You know,
with you, man.
Take that Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler,
Yeah.
like Sean Marion swing, where it's like, all right,
Let's go for it.
flood it with whatever
Yeah.
we need to flood it with.
If you can get to the West with that team that they had, I
Yeah.
can get that far. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
give me that piece. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
on point.
You know what this Bull squad needs?
What's that?
Joakim, call him up, get him back in shape, get him back in game shape.
He's like
man.
Joakim
Why y'all
now.
keep doing this to Joe, man?
Yeah.
Y'all seen Joe's IG?
Oh,
There's-
Oh,
I've-
does he? Listen.
I stalk him.
There's nothing that Joakim
Nothing
needs to or
basketball.
wants to do here.
No, he
And
is
on the
living
basketball.
his best life.
He's living all of
I don't
our
even know if
best
he uses points bet, but he's for sure
He's
living his best
all of our
life.
best lives. He's got his babies
Yep.
with him. I mean,
Got his
he's
lady, got
he's
his
got his
baby.
lady.
He's
Like,
got his Victoria's Secret model
hey,
wife.
Listen.
Life is good.
Man.
What more can you add? He's always on a boat.
Oh,
You know what I'm
almost
saying?
always. He's
Shirt.
either on a boat or in a gorgeous lawn in Hawaii, like soaking in a tub.
Yeah, that man ain't worn a shirt in a while.
That is, hey,
chilling, man.
Listen, there's
He is chilling.
of that crew, right? Of like Lou and Ben and Kirk and Joe. You knew from moment one, like when this is done, who's going to be living a certain life when they're finished. You feel me? Like I always thought Lou was gonna like jump into politics or
Yeah.
try to help his people back out. You know, but man, in Sudan, but man,
knew
you
what-
always knew Joe was like, hey,
peace sign,
just
you
go
said.
ahead and fast forward this thing 20 years. It's
Right.
over.
But, I mean,
same dude, right?
But he is putting in some work with Luol, working on the BAL over there in Africa.
That's true. Listen,
Kudos to both of them for doing that.
Listen, them two cats, like what Joe did for the time he was here. I was talking to Patrick Finley about it yesterday for the pod about Khalil Mack and how I felt like Bears fans never really knew him, right? So
Yeah.
it was that real mercenary feel. But from
That's
the
his
moment,
personality, though,
yeah,
at the same
and it's not a bad thing.
No.
Like it's not like it's shade to any. Like this
No,
is just
not
how
at
he
all. It's
rolls.
just how he rolls.
Right.
Like
Yes,
I'm here
correct.
to play football.
Correct.
If I see you out, cool. But like,
He'll do wonderful things, but
yeah,
you're just not about to brag about
But the
it like
moment Joe got here, like the way he was dug in with Derek and what Derek showed him and where he came from, Joe's a special soul.
Yeah.
Joe's one of those guys that I'm happy I was wrong about.
Yeah.
There's so many.
You were a WTF guy on draft night?
I on the air said that if they draft Joakim Noah, I will stop watching this team. Because
So how long until you?
It's one of them things I've been most right about in my life. Because I let everybody know.
I know you did. I know you did. Yeah.
Everybody
I know you did.
know, man. I told everybody this was a great move.
Because I thought he was a spaz.
Dude,
I thought
yeah.
he was the third most talented player on that Florida team.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know,
he
come
was
to
the
find
MVP.
out.
He got an MVP in the Final Four being on that team.
So did Tyler Hansbrough.
Dude, man, come on. Won a championship.
I
Two
know.
of them.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Okay,
I
all
saw
right. I ain't
Joe.
gonna yell
I
at
know.
you.
I know. I
sorry,
saw
bro.
Joe.
Yeah, yeah,
Listen, I
go
saw
ahead.
Joe play at the Rucker.
Yeah.
Like I saw Joe play at Lincoln College. Like I seen Joe do things on the court that, you know, Billy wouldn't let him do at Florida or whatever.
Yeah,
so
true,
I knew
true,
his
true.
talent or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like,
was
is he
mental?
going to keep it together?
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I got
and
you.
then he gets suspended by Ben Wallace.
Oh, my
you know
God.
what I'm saying? Like, that type of shit
Stepped
is
way out of his zone as a rookie.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what, though? You
Let me
found
know.
out very early, like, you know,
Because as a rookie, he cared way more than a lot of the vets did.
I appreciated him because he was the kid you couldn't just give an answer to. You had to explain to him
Explain
why.
it, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right?
You're going to hand me no
Yeah.
bull. You know what I mean? You got to
There
tell
are
me
no
what it is.
because I said so
Yeah.
answers acceptable to him.
They
Shout
say you ain't going to spit on me and tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hey,
mean?
shout
Like
out to
that.
Clayton Thomas, Evanston Township High School, my sophomore year African American Studies class. There was questions on a test that I was like, this is bullshit, right? And he was like, well, explain to me why. And from that moment on, we could, if we thought a question wasn't sufficient or correctly worded, we can argue the validity of the question and get the correct answer credit.
Oh,
Right?
I like that.
So you would have kids who were trying to test it and just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I would just study the whole thing and be like, all right, these are the questions I think are bullshit.
Right.
I'm going to get 5 answers right. You know what I mean? I'm going to get credit for 5 answers off
Right,
this off
right.
top. And
That's smart.
I look at dudes like Joe. It's like, it's not that you're a knucklehead. It's not that you're an asshole. It's just, yo, like, tell me why.
Right.
Yeah.
And too oftentimes in sports, especially with coaches, you know, they're used to moving pieces around the board, but explaining and to people to learn differently is an issue. So I appreciate him for making his teammates better and making his coaches better because he definitely pushed some boundaries.
He did.
He definitely
Oh,
pushed some
he
boundaries.
definitely did,
We
man.
need dudes like Joe. You
need
hear
him,
Billy.
man.
You hear Billy talking about the Bulls all the time his last 2 years, and he's saying in his best Billy way, you know, you question people's toughness. You
Yeah.
question people's fight back. You're like, you question people's resolve.
Yeah.
And
you saw it throughout the season, and then in their playoff series against Milwaukee, when things got a little rough and tumble,
they should have beat that
You saw
team.
early in the season when you saw Tony Bradley get carried out the club.
Oh,
man.
this
I
is
told you,
one of
that's when I
Dave's
was
favorite
done.
things from the season to
When I
talk
was
about.
done, man. I was done.
When he
Steven
got-
Adams,
Jay,
when
come
he-
on,
when he got
man.
Tony Bradley.
When he got him rooted, yeah, it's a dangerous position
Bro,
for
come
a
on,
grown
man.
man's feet to be off
Come
the
on.
floor. You can have one
That
foot up.
age.
Like everybody hears, you feel comfortable, you feel safe,
Right.
right? Like you got 1 foot off the floor.
Right.
Now,
Both
like,
of them?
start dangling and see
Yeah,
how.
right.
He like-
Unless they going on that table, both feet they gonna be up. Look at that. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, man.
Come on,
That's
man.
Tough. That's tough.
Come on, bro.
That's tough. That's a domestic situation. You got to Tony. You got to put one. You got to at least like stretch the
toe.
Stretch the toe
You know,
out.
the
to
baby
floor.
toe got to hit it or something, man. Something, man.
Just to let you know, like, hey, man, my feet was on the ground.
Yes, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? No, bro.
Oh, take that picture.
Oh my God!
I forgot about that.
I will
moment.
never forget it. As long as that's when I was done. That's when I was
the
done.
Bulls lost to the Bucks in that moment.
That moment, bro. That's when you knew it was over. That's when I knew.
Y'all ain't shit.
It was also though one of my favorite moments of the season when all of the early season Vuce haters got to see what this team looked like with Tony Bradley as the starting center.
Right. Yes.
Tony
All right, yeah.
You like that?
Y'all want to keep throwing
You like
shade
that
at
one?
Vage?
Tony,
All right,
Yeah.
Tony was in a tough way.
Jason, thank you so much for being here, man.
Yay.
Sadly, we are
Yes,
out
sir.
of time. That hour flew
man.
by.
I apologize, man, because I got here at 3:10. I was supposed to be here at 3. I was looking for
Don't
parking.
worry about
My
it.
car's
We
probably
started
been
late. We
towed.
went long.
It is
It's
not.
all
Oh
good.
yeah, no,
You
it's in
safe. No,
a
you
lot.
safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the car's
No,
safe,
I
bro.
might, but I got it. Listen, I was looking forward to this. Big Dave hit me up. You already know how I feel about you. Shout out to John. And this thing, I'm telling y'all, it ain't just because some places are like ratty and then they make the background look good. This
This
is nice.
Well,
You know, like this is, I don't know how many.
It's not a green screen, Jay.
No.
Like I've watched Herb sit here and talk about Reese McGuire. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is really nice. Yeah, it's It's like when your homies get a new place.
Right. Oh, the new couch.
Yeah.
That's
like,
leather.
You're like you keep looking for a new place to vomit. on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm crashing here
Oh,
tomorrow.
You already know.
You know what I mean?
You already know.
3 in the morning, you getting that
I'm
car.
just gonna pull up here like I work here from here on out. I got nothing to do this
Hey,
summer.
don't leave the
You
door.
are welcome here anytime. Our
you
friend
up, bro.
Jason
Love.
Goff. Follow him on
Anytime.
Twitter at Jason1Goff, everybody. Listen to the full go
Yes,
if you
sir.
aren't already. It is excellent content. And you're going to be doing that throughout all summer long, right?
Yeah.
Keep
We're
it
going on vacation here, so we're gonna put out a couple of evergreen episodes. Had a chance to talk to Andrew Barber from Fake Shore Drive about not only the Chicago hip hop scene, but what Chicago is actually doing in terms of the city regarding that hip hop scene. And
I saw you talking to Shakia Taylor as well.
Yeah. Shake is coming
Shake is
on.
ill, bro.
She just dropped a piece in the Eater
Yes.
about Harold's Chicken
About Harold,
that I was
yes,
in.
yes.
She even put in the story. Well, she couldn't put in the story, but I told her a story about me eating Harold's with Eddie George at 3 a.m.
Son.
outside on 22nd and Wabash hanging out. Yeah.
That is the hour when Harold's Chicken is the best.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, there's never really
Every
There's
hour.
never a bad time. Yeah.
It's okay, Pat.
It's all right.
It's okay.
What?
It's all right.
It's okay, Pat.
It's all
Yeah,
right.
There's a Harold's right by my folks' place in the South Loop. I eat there
You
all the
see
time.
it?
I eat there all the time.
You go. You know what? Go to 187th.
Yeah?
They open it back up.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
That's the one that raised me. So
71st.
yeah,
Yeah,
71st.
71st. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
We've got
hey, dude.
It's nice.
I don't want to leave.
It's nice.
As soon as I leave here, I'm about to be told what I'm not. You know what I mean? After being adorned with love and mad people on the chat.
Yes, sir.
Let me start reading this chat to see how many people hate me.
Oh, you can go back.
Oh, no,
like
there's nothing
this
but love on
episode
that
will
chat,
stay up
bro.
on YouTube. You can go back and read all the people who were so happy to see you here on our platform
Oh,
today.
man,
Read
I
all those
appreciate
really
you guys
comments.
has,
having me
bro.
straight up.
Yeah,
man. I am incredibly proud of y'all
Thank you.
because
Thank
you find your way, right? Like water finds its level at all times, and I'm glad you guys got microphones in front of you because the city needs guys like you talking about the shit that people care about, which is these teams, and that's necessary. So I'm
Appreciate
happy. I'm
that.
happy for y'all,
Appreciate
man.
that, man. It's a bummer that it's not with you anymore.
Hey, don't
but-
worry.
Yeah,
Hey,
all right, man.
hey, things come
Doing
full
our thing,
circle.
doing
You
our
know,
thing.
No,
You know?
I got things
Hey.
I want to say to you too,
Yeah.
but it's no time level. I'll probably get you on my podcast and
Whenever,
do it there.
bro.
but-
You
Bulls
already know.
Nation.
But yeah.
You already know.
One more time.
dude.
Give it up for Jason
This
Goff.
dude.
Thanks for stopping
Right
by.
there. I
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank
Until
you.
next time, we'll be back in studio tomorrow. Our guy Gottlieb will be back with us in his magic little circle from Brazil. And
Brazil,
we'll
flexing.
keep rolling on, talking about draft prospects, talking about our Bulls draft history countdown. And then we'll probably dive a little bit deeper into this Rudy Gobert stuff because we
Yeah.
need to.
We got to.
So that's on deck for tomorrow and through the rest of the week for Big Dave and Jason Goff, our producer, and our pal Joey.
Joey.
Peck saying thanks always for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. See Red, be good. Peace.